Hello, what's up everybody? My name is Kia, and in today's video I'm going to try the latest update of the Figma, in which they released their own official MCP server, which is going to help us to use the generative AIs to convert our design from Figma to code, and hopefully other way around. So bear with me until the end of this video. My name is Kia, and here is Akimo. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're gonna learn a little bit more about the MCP servers, and we will understand what they are doing for us. Then we will set up all the things that we need in order to use the latest official MCP server that Figma released in order to convert our design to code, and maybe other way around. Actually, this is the first time I'm going to use the MCP server that Figma released. I'm not sure that how it's going to work. So stay with me until the end of this video. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, smash that subscribe button, like the video, and share this video with the other designers in your community. These are the ways that you can support me and this channel. Now, without further ado, let's get started. So let's start by answering the main question, that what is MCP server? MCP servers are basically the bridge between the tools that we are using in our daily work, such as Figma, Blender, or any other software that you have in your toolkit, and the generative AI models that we are using nowadays for different purposes. For example, OpenAI or Cloud or any other tool that providing us the AI models. Of course, we can use the different generative AI models in order to generate the result and outcome that we need in our working environment, such as image, such as text, such as video, and even design for Figma or a 3D model for Blender. Just give it a try. Open the ChatGPT or Cloud and ask these AI models to generate something for your Figma or Blender. I don't know, it can be a simple user interface design that you can use in the Figma. Most probably you will get some output from your AI model, but I'm not sure if it's very compatible with the tool that you would like to import those results into it, such as in this case, a Figma. Meaning that the generative AI maybe need more context to understand the infrastructure of the tool that you would like to generate result for it. For example, the Figma in this case, Figma, so the outcome should be compatible with the Figma. And in this place, we need that bridge, which we call it MCP, or Model Context Protocol, which is going to basically help the generative AI to understand how the outcome should be, or how they can understand the context of the tool that you are using. Meaning that, for example, if you use a frame and you use the properties in order to add some style to it in the Figma, AI model that you are going to use can understand what that frame means. And if you want to, for example, do something on that design, this MCP servers is going to help the generative AI to be able to do that. So basically, it's translating what's happening in that software to the model, that we get more accurate result. And this is possible for all the software that we are using in our work. So you can have an MCP server for Blender, you can have MCP server for the Figma or any other tools, most probably in the future. And so far, we saw that many people build their own MCP servers and share with the other people for Figma, for Blender, which means that you can make your own MCP server as well. MCP server, as I told you, is just a bridge, it's just a translator. So it's not that hard that you can build your own. But you don't have to anymore to do it for the Figma, because Figma released their own official one. This means that some people are actively working on that. Most probably it's gonna get more updates in the future, more new features. I never used this MCP server so far, and we're gonna use it together in this video. But I read that at the moment it just convert the design to code. I'm not sure if it does other way around, like if we do some coding and then we want to have it in our Figma design file, if it's going to be able to generate that design as well. At the moment, maybe it's not possible, but the fact that it's an official MCP server, this gives me this feeling that in the future, Figma might give more updates and kind of bring more power into this MCP server. So this was the short definition. I tried to keep it short actually. The short definition of what exactly MCP server is And now in the next step, let's set up the environment, the tools that we need in order to be able to use the Figma MCP server. So let's continue. I'm going to share two links with you, which are very important if you would like to dive deeper into this topic and learn a little bit more. The first link is going to be a link to this web page, which you can find more information about the MCP server that Figma released recently. So you will find more detail about the functionalities and what exactly the MCP server means in this case, what things you can use this MCP server for. As I said, I was a little bit lazy to read through these things, but I have some general understanding of what is going to happen when we use this MCP server. But if you would like to learn more, just get sure to read this page. And for understanding and learning that how we can use this MCP server, I will leave you another link in which you can find the instruction of enabling the MCP server within the Figma and how you can use the AI to basically connect your AI model to the Figma. In this video, we're going to go through this instruction together. We will learn how to set up our environment. So first of all, in step 1, we need to enable the MCP server in our Figma desktop app. So first thing that we need to get sure is that we have the latest update of the Figma desktop version. So you need to have it on your PC. Then we need to create a Figma design file, and in the menu we need to go to preferences and enable the dev mode MCP server. Okay, so let's do this together. I'm gonna open the Figma file that I made already. In the menu, I'm going to preference section, and I'm going to find exactly this option here. Let me zoom in. Oops. So preferences, and here enable dev mode MCP server. Just check on this item, and now we are good, I guess, in the Figma. Actually, it was very easy. Now back to the instruction. The second step is that we need to set up our MCP client, meaning that we need to run a local server which is going to get connected to our Figma, and in that way we can communicate between our AI model and let's say the Figma or the tool that you're going to use. In this video, I'm going to use the cursor, but you can see that there are different solutions or the software that you can connect your Figma MCP to them or use them for this purpose. Cursor is the editing tool, code editing tool that you can use in order to develop whatever you want. Of course, it's AI based, meaning that you always have your chat with your AI model in the right side. So basically AI models are going to generate the code for you, and it's very, very user friendly, and I really like the result I'm getting when I'm using the cursor in compared to the other tools. So give it a try, install it on your PC, and get sure that you have the latest update. Okay, now I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to open the cursor, go to the setting tab, and cursor settings. Okay, of course we need to open the cursor settings, and in the MCP tab we need to click on add a new global MCP server, enter the following configuration, and save. Sounds very easy. So let's copy this JSON file, JSON code or whatever you call it, and let's get back to our cursor. This is the cursor user interface. I close the setting. You can of course find the link to the website of the cursor in the link in the description of this video. Click on that, go download your version. Again, get sure that you have the latest update. And now I'm going to click on this three dot here and go to the chat setting, and here you can find the MCP tool section in the setting. As you can see, there are no MCP server at the moment. I'm going to click on add a custom one, and it will automatically open the MCP.json file for me. I will paste the JSON file, the JSON code that we brought it from the Figma website. Sorry. Now I'm going to save this JSON. Let me get back to the cursor setting. Now we see this Figma MCP, and yeah, you can see already a couple of functionality that exists within this MCP server. For example, get the code, which there are explanation you can read in the tooltip when you hover on this functionality. For example, generate a UI code for a given node or a currently selected node. This means that we can click or select a specific frame in our design and then ask to get the code. This will generate the code. Get the variable definition. We can use this in order to get the definition of the variables that we use in our design. Get the code connect map. Get the mapping of node, code connect, location connect. Okay, we can read more most probably about the things. Generate an image for a given node or a current selected node in a Figma desktop app. Use a node ID. We will give a try and try all the things in a moment. Let's maybe turn on and turn off to get sure it's green. I'm not sure what does this green thing means here, but as I said, you can hover on this functions and read every detail that you need to know about these things and understand how you can use these functions, for example, which parameters you can define and blah 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 blah. So now we are actually good to go. I'm going to get back to instruction one more time. After this step 2, we basically can prompt our first prompt. So I believe that now we need to have a design to be able to try the MCP server that we set up. So I'm gonna make very quickly a design within the Figma. So let's go back to Figma file that we have, and let's start to design something. In this step, I would like to design 3 different versions of the user interface within the Figma. In the first one, I'm gonna make a very dirty design, meaning that no proper naming for the layers, no variable, no connection to any styling and everything. So everything gonna be very random, no auto layout maybe as well. And then I'm gonna use the MCP server and see how the MCP server is going to convert that to a code. Then in the second version, I'm going to use the auto layout and a little bit more clean design, maybe a little bit naming for the frames, and then we give it a try again. And in the last version, I'm going to use a very clean design with all variables connected, all stylings and everything. Hopefully, I'm not gonna make things myself. I'm gonna use existing one within the libraries that exist already within the Figma, or I'm gonna use the AI to generate the user interface, and then we do the rest. So now I'm gonna open the Figma. We already had one Figma file, so let's get back to the Figma environment. For the first version, I'm going to make one frame here. I'm not gonna rename the frame to something. I'm gonna keep the name very random, like frame number 1. And then I would like to add one image. I'm gonna use the make image functionality here. Make image of a pack shot of a drink. So let's try to make a hero section here for a product page. Why not? Unfortunately, I was selecting the frame, so the image has been applied as a style for that frame. Let's make the size to 600 to 600. And let's lock the aspect ratio by clicking on the lock the aspect ratio. In this way, if we change the size of the image, you can see that we basically maintain the aspect ratio of the image. And now again, I need another frame. Let me maybe use the presets that we have here. MacBook Air, maybe, yeah, works. Now let's drag and drop our image within the parent frame that we have. This is going to be the pack shot image for the hero section for the product page. I'm gonna add a little bit a corner radius, maybe 24 pixel. Again, very random. The sizes are very random. We don't care much. I'm gonna add one hero section. I will maybe name it as orange soft drink. This is going to be our headline, the H1. So I'm gonna pick up, I don't know, something a little bit bigger, and maybe bold is bold already. I'm gonna change the font also to Inter, the font family, but it doesn't matter. Let's change the color from black to something like orange, and let's resize the text. So this text is fine here. I'm going to duplicate the text layer, and I'm going to change the styling. First of all, the color, let's make it black, and the size, I'm going to make it 20. We will use this text layer for the description of the product. So I'm going to open the action menu and use the rewrite functionality to fill some random text for this paragraph. I will say write paragraph text about the orange soft drink. So let's click on the rewrite and let's wait. Okay, we have a very long paragraph. I will click again and make a change, and here I will say make it much shorter. Okay, now we have a shorter text. Maybe also we can add one button like a CTA to purchase, or I don't know, something like that. I'm gonna use shape in this case. I would like to have a very bad design, so let's make a shape. Let's make the rectangle orange color that we had, and I'm going to bring a text layer one more time and change it to white. Okay, we need to bring it over the rectangle that we had, and I'm going to type buy it now. Let's change the size very quickly. It's something random but small, maybe 24 pixels is good. Select the text layer and the rectangle and align everything to the center. I'm happy with the result. So basically we have a product, the hero section for a product detail page, which we did not use any layers here, meaning that we do not have a proper hierarchy. Everything is flat in one frame, and we did not use auto layout to build more responsive and a better layout in general. And the styles are not connected to variables. Everything is just normal. This is the first version, and for the second version, I would like to use the first draft functionality to build my second version, basically, of the same design. So I would like to make a hero section for and basically orange soft drink product page with headline, pack shot image, and paragraph text plus a CTA. Let's click on make it. When we use this generative AI, of course, the result is a little bit cleaner, meaning that if you see right now our design, we have more proper namings for our layout, which might be not also very good and understandable in terms of converting it to the code. For example, here we have the make hero section, blah, blah, blah. Maybe, for example, using some keywords such as section or such as header or container is a little bit helpful, but in general, it's cleaner than what we have in the first version. And plus we have auto layout applied already. So we have a padding and everything else. All good. I don't need this parts actually. Here we have the whole page, but as long as I have this image headline and here down here we have a paragraph text, we are good with our second version. For the third version, I'm going to use the libraries that we have here, for example the material design or maybe the design library of the Figma itself. So I'm going to add this library from the assets section by clicking on the plus to my file basically, and then we have access to all the stuff that exists in that library. I'm not sure if we have similar layout here as well. I guess yeah, this one is the best. I'm going to insert it to my page. And as I said, we don't need the navigation, we don't need anything else. So I'm deleting everything else and we're good to go. Actually, I don't want to really get into the detail of the design, doesn't matter as long we have these 3 different versions. Let me also explain that in the 3rd version, if you see, we have the component and we have variables. So if you select something, you see, for example, here for the gap properties, we have the variables which is connected and defined in the main library. I guess same is for colors. Yes, so in the colors also we have everything else. So now we have all the designs that we need. I'm going to get back to the cursor, and in the cursor I would like to set up a React project which we will use in order to visualize the things that we are doing or the things that we convert from the design into the code. So I'm going to write down here in the chat that make a React app. It's very simple, and the cursor is going to set up everything that we need for this project. So first of all, we need to run this command in order to basically download and install all the requirements that is needed for having a React project. It's going to take some time, but while cursor is doing this, you can already see in your project directory that some new folders are getting added to our project. For example, here, my app. Now you can see all the node modules that are needed for the React project has been installed, and our app directory is ready. So we basically have all the files, JavaScript, TypeScript. So the React project is ready. We have the files and everything that is needed. Just here we have this problem, the conflict between the dependencies. Let's ask to fix this issue. Before we continue, in this step, I would like to get sure that I can run the React app that we are making, and I see the app in the browser. When everything is good, then we are good to go. Okay, now we run the app that we have, and if we open the browser, we can see this default page, which shows that everything is ready for the next step. The next step, I'm going to open the Figma that we had and then select one of the frame, the first one, of course, the first version that was the most unorganized design that we have in our canvas. And then while I'm selecting it, I'm going to get back to the cursor, and in the cursor, I'm going to say, get the design from Figma and convert it and add it to our React app. Okay, once you provide a Figma link or node, I can fetch. Okay, it's asking something. I would like to get sure that my chat setting and MCP tool is running. Yeah, it's running. It's okay. I would say that I have already selected the frame. Let's see if it understands what I'm referring to. Okay, now the MCP server is there. I run the basically this MCP server thing is trying to search the file. It's very good that we can see here what's happening. Listed 10 items. Okay, great. It detected the frame that we selected, which was this MacBook something. Okay, now we have also the CSS file and the stylings and everything. And we can see some changes in our app project. So let's accept all the changes. And I'm going to back to the browser. I don't see any change here. I refresh. Most probably we need to run the app again. I'm not sure if it works or not. Let's try. We faced a couple of problems in running our app, but now I ask the cursor to solve them, and it seems that we have it successfully. When I get back to the browser, here we go. We can see the design that we made in the Figma now in our browser. And of course, things are a little bit weird and got broken. I'm not sure what can be the reason. Maybe the naming, maybe not using styles. Those are the issues that exist most probably. Let's open our Figma and select the next frame and get back to the cursor. Okay, I have already selected a frame, replace it in the same page that we have this MacBook Air page. Again, my prompts are very rough and generic, and I'm not sure if it's enough, but yeah, let's give it a try. So again, the is calling the MCP tool. It is working at the moment on the MacBook Air JSON JavaScript file. If you want, you can check the code at the moment, and I feel like we can see most probably different classes here. I'm not sure if this is exactly what we want, but yeah, let's accept all the changes. So when we get back to our browser, we can see that our new design is here in the same page, but of course it doesn't look exactly what we had in the design. Let me bring up the design one more time that you can see. So here we had this navigation with the logo, then we had this basically headline, which is missing, and I guess the text, the image thing is not properly fitted there. Let's go to the inspection mode and see how the page has been built. Not the best thing that we could have, but you can see the difference between this one and the last version. At least the auto layout has been converted properly into a layout that is more responsive. Some parts are missing. I don't know what can be the reason for that, but we are okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the last design that we have variables and everything else in place, and then we will do the same process. I'm going to ask the cursor to replace the design that we have with that one. So let's get back to the cursor. So we need to go back to the Figma actually, and then select this frame. And I would like to this time ask the cursor to convert the selected frame in Figma to code and add it to the same page. Let's see if we can see the same hero section below the section that we had before. Okay, and here are the new components. Yeah, it's saying that what is the roadmap and what the cursor is going to do, and it's asking for us to run the MCP tool. You can see that the cursor started to change the pages that we had and add the new design into there. You can see the class names that has been used here. There is a relationship between the frame names and the CSS classes that has been used here. And if we check the CSS examples, I don't see any variables, like no CSS attribute, like no CSS variables has been used in order to define the properties. For example, here the background color is directly given here. Maybe I can use another functionality to say, hey, convert the variables, Figma variables, to Figma to basically CSS property, CSS variables. But for now, let's check out how this process worked and check the final result in the page. I guess we need to run the app again. Now I'm getting back to the browser. We are running the app. If I scroll down, I will see this new section, which is supposed to be the one that we had in the latest design, but it's not, and I'm not sure what went wrong. So maybe our process was a little bit difficult. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to make another project in the cursor and just simply ask to convert whatever we have in a design to pure HTML and CSS. So nothing about the React project or whatsoever. As I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another project, just pure HTML and CSS. First, let's select this one, this frame, and then get back to the cursor and say that get the design from Figma and convert it to code, use HTML and CSS. I want to open the final result in browser as HTML file. Get sure to convert the variables to CSS attributes or CSS variables. Okay, this is going to be my prompt. It would be great if we can convert the Figma variables to CSS variables. So let's give this prompt. Okay, it's calling the MCP tool again. So when the process is ready, I already see one HTML file which has also integrated CSS styling within it. And I immediately see some variables has been used here. For example, the font family type for heading or the other stuff. And when we were waiting for the result, here I saw that the MCP tool is using this get code function to convert basically the design to the code. And then it's called also the get variable definition to reuse the variables that we had in the design as a CSS variable. So this is the code. Let's accept the changes, and I'm going to open the project directory and open the HTML file that we made. And here we go. Now things looks much better than the last attempt that we had. And we have this button here. We have some text here. Let me bring back the design to get sure we have a proper. Okay, I mean, it's not exactly what we had. It's not that accurate that it's supposed to be, but it still looks good. I would like to try one more time to do the same thing with the other sections. So I'm gonna open the Figma file and then select the section, the second design that we had. And while I'm selecting, I'm going to open the cursor, and here I'm going to say convert the design that I selected from Figma to code and add it to the Figma, to HTML page that we have. It's the same process, nothing new here. Each time we are asking the cursor to do something which has a relation to the Figma, is calling the MCP tool and the function that are needed in order to read the design and everything else. And it's automatically doing the coding. And it would be more helpful if you do this process with your dev team in your team to get sure that the things that you are getting from your Figma design is usable for developers and in the code side. If not, I guess whatever is happening here is just not that helpful and it's just a waste of time, but it's okay. Let's open the HTML file one more time, and yeah, here we go. Now we have this logo which we had in the second section, and then we have this headline, we have the image here and the text below it. That's it for this video actually. So it's not possible to have two-side connection, meaning that this MCP server has been designed to just convert the design to code and not the other way around. So we cannot ask the cursor to code something and then we use it or add it to the Figma. I guess very soon we will have that stuff within the this MCP server as well. So let's wait a little bit and then we will give it a try again. Hope you enjoyed and learned something new from this video. If it was so, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and again, share this video in your social networks with the other designers. Let the people who need this video find it easier. And don't forget that I'm reading all the comments, so get sure to write down your questions, your opinion, your thought about this video and the other videos in this channel in the comment basic section. Let's learn together and see you in the next video.